2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. The crowd here in anticipation of their home team Spurs in an interconference battle at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. This their first look at this year's New York squad. And not only a 1-1 split series between these two teams last year, guys, but both wins were on the road, so home court advantage wasn't that big an advantage.
I don't know.
Well, they thought they'd handle this club last year both times, but they actually split the two season meetings.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Melo is the 3. Amari is at the 4. Amon Shumpert is out there with Larkin. And it's Dalembert in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Parker drives in. He used that pick just right. You know, you would think, as you said, Steve, that no matter what building they were in, this is a team they should have beaten both times.
It probably had a little something to do with the fact that they're just not a very familiar opponent. I mean, that's one way to look at it.
And that one's good. We played just over a minute here in the first. And he converts the layup.
Well, he's off to a good start, and he's a guy who we know. I mean, if he gets going early, he can give you problems all day.
Well, what can you say about the Spurs at home? I mean, they've been dominant here for so long. It's a shock whenever they lose at home.
The Spurs were dominant at home once again, as you mentioned, guys. 32 wins for them, Steve, and they shot great, absolutely great in this building.
Well, you don't win 50 games for 15 straight years, Kevin, without being dominant at home, and that's what the Spurs have done. So they just get the job done. I mean, they're tough to beat here in San Antonio, and obviously a wonderful shooting ball club.
Here's Green, and the Spurs scoring again.
Every once in a while, he'll kind of step out of his role and give you something like that.
Here's Shumpert. Launches a 3. And again, it's the Knicks missing. Parker outside. In low to Duncan. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second goal.
Yeah.
Well, we got a moment to look back to last year's Spurs right now.
I feel pop.
First in assists, first in three-point field goal percentage. And they were number 2 in field goal percentage. This is a team that got good shots on a regular basis and knocked them down.
And Clark, what you talked about that really resonates with me is the assists, because they were the best in the league. Clearly a result of wonderful offensive execution and, of course, unselfishness. It didn't seem to matter who was taking the shot. That team always tried to find the open man.
Parker outside. And Leonard has it in the corner. And it's good in the assist by Parker. Leonard's got his first basket of the night.
Well, Kawhi Leonard last season, upping his scoring and rebounding rates. He shot over 50% from the field, which is excellent for a perimeter player.
Really getting after it on the offensive boards, adding to his early total with that putback.
They set the pick. Here's Parker. And it's San Antonio with another. And this may be the season, Steve. The Spurs look to put the ball in Kawhi's hands more. You know, looking to transition him into a larger role offensively.
Well, listen, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to defend the other team's best player and to take on a big offensive role. But Kawhi Leonard's a physical specimen. I mean, this guy is so strong. I think there's a lot further that he can go offensively, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that develops here in the next couple of years.
San Antonio shooting their first free throws of this game. Well, Tim Duncan, in a lot of ways, the epitome of Steve's substance over style.
Yeah, no doubt, Kevin, both in terms of his game and his personality. I mean, he's just a winner and a leader. but he does it in such a quiet fashion that sometimes people forget to take notice.
Poke loose. San Antonio leading. San Antonio again missing.
Well, I like the defense there. Right up in his grill, didn't give him a chance.
That's good.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here. And when I think about Duncan's leadership, man, I could go on and on. I don't even know if I have enough time, but one of the things that stands out is he's never put himself above his teammates or the staff, and he allows himself to be coached extremely hard by Greg Popovich. He's relentless, dedicated, and in many ways he can lead without saying a word.
Come on.
And it's Prigioni missing.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that's
Smith's shot is good.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you got to continue to go to the well. You talk about Duncan allowing Pop to get into him. I think really he's his own toughest critic. As great as he is, he's hard on himself. He's pushed himself to become great.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. And the
It's funny how they can shield it, but I can still see what you were doing.
Knicks decide to take their first time out here. Defeated by the Wizards in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
Well, shooting as poorly as they did, there was very little chance they were going to win that game, guys.
They shielded.
Yeah, there was sort of a snowball effect in the game that I saw. I mean, what started as a cold night for a few guys became contagious and became a cold night for everybody.
The Knicks making a switch here. Samuel Dalembert is checked in for Smith. Stoudemire comes in for Quincy Ace. Shumpert is checked in for J.R. Smith. And it's Larkin in for Pablo Prigioni. And that one's good, Anthony.
That's just run-of-the-mill for him. A typical day at the office. He's one of the more skilled offensive players out there.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for New York.
Well, they're trying to play fast and trying to put the defense on their heels.
You know, they've also shown some real tenacity here early on tonight. It's paid off with a lot of second chance points.
He's flopping. I'm about to say, I bet not.
And New York looking at who they've got.
I see.
Mello outside of the three with Amari down at power forward. Market up
alert
there with Iman Shumpert. And it's Dalembert in at the 5 spot.
Tony Parker, I don't think there's any question the best player ever to come out of France. In fact, back in the summer of 2013, he led France to the Euro Cup championship in Slovenia. Just a terrific performance there for Parker.
Now here's Shumpert.
Oh.
He's coming off a 19-point game against Washington. Anthony with the bucket.
These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing them. That's 4 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been three-pointers.
Now here's Anthony. Following the miss by Tony Parker. Wasted no time on that one.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
Come on.
Agreed. I mean, you look at the points, I mean, they're getting a lot of baskets off of assists, so the offense is really clicking here.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Time called here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Well, for Tim Duncan with age, the Spurs have looked to reduce his minutes load during the regular season, but when he's on the court, he remains as efficient as ever.
No, you want to just wait till it's over?
Oh, we got a moment here now, Kevin, to look back to last year's Knicks. Second in fewest
Yep, of
turnovers
course.
per